what happens when a priest begins to celebrate Mass actually begins where a lot of people don't see in the sacristy. And one of the things that's a very great challenge as a priest is to balance all the logistics that need to happen, right? The host of people who are coming. And a lot of times people bring urgent questions about their lives, something to share, a moment of great joy or a moment of great sorrow. And you're trying to clarify which reading the lector should read. And you need to check the missal and make sure that no one has moved any pages to make sure it's set to the right prayers for the day. And then you've got an altar boy who doesn't know how to put on a cincture. And then the musician comes and says like, Father, the soundboard isn't working. And then a light bulb goes. And so you're like up there in the half lit sanctuary and you've got like half a choir and like an altar boy whose, belt keeps falling down and this is God's work.
None of this is hypothetical. Like once again, none of this is hypothetical. All of that has happened.
So let me back up just a little bit to this point about the sacristy. What is it that a priest is doing as he's vesting for the Mass? Because something important is happening there in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's traditionally always a set of prayers that the priest prays as he puts on each, because there's a number of different vestments that he will vest in. But it's good to be recollected at that point. There are many days where it's like, you have meetings right up until Mass or your alarm doesn't go off and you're like rushing around, but you always have to kind of take that time to take a deep breath and, look at the cross and, every sacristy, should have that cross in there so that turn your eyes to him before you turn towards the altar. And be mindful of that. And so as those preparations take place, it should be a place of prayer. I remember that was a unique change of mentality maybe, or something that I needed to like switch my thought process on when I entered the religious life, that we talked about our monastic cell as a real place of prayer. And I was like, well, that's my bedroom. That's, is like, no, this is a place of prayer. And for us, I think, the sacristy is not some place that is a storage closet. It's not an anteroom or a place that we just store a bunch of sacred vessels or vestments. It too is a place of prayer. And so there should be, even though real preparations have to happen, real conversations have to, is this the feast day today? What are we doing here? How many concelebrants do we have? There's conversations that need to take place, but to treat the sacristy as a place of prayer. Now, it doesn't need to have an uber solemn presence, and it's not a chapel per se, but it is a place of prayer. And to not be afraid to say, yeah, actually, can we have that conversation elsewhere? Can we follow up on something else? Like, this is going to be a place that I need to prepare and actually be a prayerful environment. So it shouldn't be a super raucous place or anything like that, but to treat it as a place of prayer.
Yeah, sports game people tell me that a good sacristy is like a good locker room. Because
I love it.
When you're heading out for the big game, they tell me, because I've never once in my life done this.
Sports balls.
when you're heading out for the big game, you have to be focused. You have to be attentive. People have to be on the same page. The plan has to be there, and the mindset has to have kicked in, so that the work can be accomplished. And you can see this in a team where the coach hasn't gotten everybody to the same page, where the focus isn't there, and you leave the locker room and it's distressed and the performance suffers. And you approach the game, with a kind of spirit of disunity. And that analogy I think is right on with entering the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass.
Father Jacob Bertrand, would you say that you're optimistic about this subscription appeal?
No.
Would you say that you're optimistic about anything?
No.
Well, I am. Folks, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. Cheers.